Books Inspirational presents an unabridged recording of This Present Darkness by Frank E. Peretti, narrated by Richard Ferrone. This work is copyrighted 1986 by Frank E. Peretti. This recording is copyrighted 2001 by Recorded Books. This Present Darkness begins with the following quotation from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we are not contending against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the world rulers of this present darkness, against the spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. And now, this present darkness.
Chapter 1. Late on a full moon Sunday night, the two figures in work clothes appeared on Highway 27 just outside the small college town of Ashton. They were tall, at least 7 feet, strongly built, perfectly proportioned. One was dark-haired and sharp-featured, the other blond and powerful. From a half-mile away, they looked toward the town, regarding the cacophonic sounds of gaiety from the storefronts, streets, and alleys within it. They started walking. It was the time of the Ashton Summer Festival, the town's yearly exercise in frivolity and chaos, its way of saying thank you, come again, good luck, and nice to have you to the 800 or so college students at Whitmore College who would be getting their long-awaited summer break from classes. Most would pack up and go home, but all would definitely stay at least long enough to take in the festivities, the street disco, the carnival rides, the nickel movies, and whatever else could be had, over or under the table, for kicks. It was a wild time, a chance to get drunk, pregnant, beat up, ripped off, and sick, all in the same night. In the middle of town, a community-conscious landowner had opened up a vacant lot and permitted a traveling troupe of enterprising migrants to set up their carnival with rides, booths, and porta-potties. The rides were best viewed in the dark, an escapade in gaily lit rust, powered by unmuffled tractor engines that competed with the wavering carnival music which squawked loudly from somewhere in the middle of it all. But on this warm summer night, the roaming, cotton-candied masses were out to enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. A Ferris wheel slowly turned, hesitated for boarding, turned some more for unboarding, then took a few full rotations to give its passengers their money's worth. A merry-go-round spun in a brightly lit, gaudy circle, the peeling and dismembered horses still prancing to the melody of the canned calliope. Carnival-goers threw baseballs at baskets, dimes at ashtrays, darts at balloons, and money to the wind along the hastily assembled ramshackle midway where the hawkers ranted the same try-your-luck chatter for each passer-by. The two visitors stood tall and silent in the middle of it all, wondering how a town of 12,000 people, including college students, could produce such a vast, teeming crowd. The usually quiet population had turned out in droves, augmented by diversion seekers from elsewhere, until the streets, taverns, stores, alleys, and parking spots were jammed. Anything was allowed, and the illegal was ignored. The police did have their hands full, but each rowdy, vandal, drunk, or hooker in cuffs only meant a dozen more still loose and roaming about the town. The festival, reaching a crescendo now on its last night, was like a terrible storm that couldn't be stopped. One could only wait for it to blow over, and there would be plenty to clean up afterward. The two visitors made their way slowly through the people-packed carnival, listening to the talk, watching the activity. They were inquisitive about this town, so they took their time observing here and there, on the right, on the left, before and behind. The milling throngs were moving around them like swirling garments in a washing machine, meandering from this side of the street to the other in an unpredictable, never-ending cycle. The two tall men kept eyeing the crowd. They were looking for someone. "There," said the dark-haired man. They both saw her. She was young, very pretty, but also very unsettled, looking this way and that, a camera in her hands and a stiff-lipped expression on her face. The two men hurried through the crowd and stood beside her. She didn't notice them. "You know," the dark-haired one said to her, "you might try looking over there." With that simple comment, he guided her by a hand on her shoulder toward one particular booth on the midway. She stepped through the grass and candy wrappers, moving toward the booth where some teenagers were egging each other on and
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.